Hey, Casas Adobe's Pastor John here, and we are going to be talking about sheep again this week. Last week we had Jesus talking to Peter and saying about to feed my lambs, tend my sheep, feed my sheep. And so we got more sheep this week, and we start out with a very, very famous psalm. That's Psalm 23, and that is about. A shepherd leading the sheep into a beautiful field with lots of water and greens and having everything that we need put before us, and that there's plenty of abundance and cups run over, and it's all because we're trusting in a good shepherd, and that good shepherd is Jesus, and we're following in that way. And so that is an important thing. And many of us are very familiar with the 23rd Psalm. It's the one that starts out, "The Lord is my shepherd." And it reminds us that we should be like sheep. And that doesn't mean that we need to be weak. It just means that we need to trust in the ways that are good. Now, this is my other, I love this. This is my bobblehead Jesus. And he's a good shepherd because he got sheep right next to him. And so this bobblehead Jesus, he's like, yes, follow my way. Wait, there he goes. Yes. So um, what Jesus is saying in the gospel this week is he just finished talking to Peter about, feeding my sheep, tending or feeding my lambs, tending my sheep, and feeding my sheep. And so now it comes time to take it to the road. And so Jesus is talking about how sheep will recognize their shepherd's voice. And when they hear that voice, they respond. And so that's what this is about. It's about hearing the voice and responding. It doesn't mean it's like, oh, I'm hearing voices. It's not like that. It's about understanding what God is about, what Jesus is about, that Jesus isn't dead and shoved into a tomb, but Jesus is alive in the world, and that we are to respond to his voice and do things out in the world. And a beautiful story, and we're going to be covering this in Sunday school, is the disciples in the book of Acts. There is a really kind woman who did a lot of work, who was a good sheep and following and responding and doing good in the world. And she should make clothes. She would make clothes and cloth and do all sorts of wonderful things for the community and for those who didn't have clothing. And she died, and they go and get Peter, Peter, the one who had denied Jesus, but Jesus told him to feed and tend. Well, guess what Jesus is doing? He's feeding and or Peter is doing. He's feeding and tending, and he's going out into this house where poor Tabitha, that's her name, Tabitha, or she's also known as Dorcas, the gazelle, that's a Greek word, where she had died. And all the women talk about how wonderful she was and all the good that she did. And Jesus is able, or Jesus, my goodness, it's Peter is able to bring her back to life. And she becomes part of the community again. So, however, we want to take that, whether just remembering Dorcas and following in her way and remembering all the good that she did, that she was able to come to life, or whether Peter was able to tend the sheep, feed the sheep, and Tabitha was able to come back. Either way, it is a wonderful message of what we are to do. So, follow in the way, listen to the voice of the shepherd, and will be led in all the wonderful ways. And even though We walk in the valleys that are scary. Nothing to fear because we got a good shepherd to listen to. All right. Okay, so that's it. I will talk to you guys at Fun Day School. And as always, I pray that you be safe, that you be well, and be a blessing. Peace.